Hello and welcome to another Miscreated garage build episode. In this episode, I'm going to demonstrate how to build this garage. This garage will protect your vehicles against those pesky players that lob grenades at your base and try to easily explode your vehicle from the outside. It can fit multiple vehicles that are protected by layers of walls around your base, and it can also fit taller vehicles such as the 5-ton truck. So without further ado, let's get into the guide. Here's the base that I'll be demonstrating how to build this garage in. The base parts that I use are the 3M column, the 3M torch column, the 4x4 roof, and the gatehouse gate. Right now, this base is 3 foundations wide and 5 foundations long. You don't have to have a base this big in order to build the garage. A 2x2 foundation layout will do just fine. But the more layers you have around the garage, the better defended your vehicles will be. So now that we've seen the outside of the base and the base parts that I use, let's start building. Let's go in and see what the inside looks like before everything is placed. This room right here will be turned into an airlock, which I think every base should have. Here is the area where I will build the garage. This will be a 2x2 garage, but once you learn the method that I use, you can create even larger garages. I'll be filling in these areas with 3x4 walls before I start placing the columns and the roofs. I entered this base with a regular door, and if you use doors, I recommend to start using gatehouse gates instead. They cost 4C4 to blow up, and gates only cost 1 base part, whereas a door and a wall door cost 2 base parts on your total count. Gatehouse gates are also really good in regards to resources because a gate only costs 16 sheet metal to upgrade, whereas a wall door and a door combined cost 24 sheet metal to upgrade. Since this base is still in the early stages, I'm going to keep this wall door and door right here to make this a sturdy airlock, but I will eventually replace this door with a gatehouse gate. Sometimes it's difficult to place walls and gatehouses from certain angles on the inside. If this happens to you, try placing the base parts from the outside of the foundation. Now that we have a way to get a vehicle inside and outside of the base, we're going to need a ramp in order to drive the vehicle inside. I'm going to open up my crafting menu, and I'm going to go to base building and structures, and in ramps, I'm going to create a 1.3 by 3 ramp. You will have to find a ramps guide in order to build this ramp, and if you're having trouble finding it, you can purchase it in the Steam marketplace. Now that I have a ramp and an airlock, I can enter and exit the base safely without anybody seeing beyond the airlock. It's not safe to leave a vehicle next to the exterior wall. Before I build a roof for this area, I'm going to seal this area with walls. If you've ever encountered issues with placing walls on top of gates, the way around the problem is to place the wall on a platform above where the gate will be, then place the gate underneath it. It's also possible to encounter issues trying to upgrade the gate to metal. That is why I've already placed it and upgraded it before I placed a wall on top. And if I didn't explain that clear enough, this is what I'm talking about. The wall will not place if there's a gate already placed below. So what I'm going to do to get around this is pack up the plated gate and place a 3x4 wall on the higher platform first. When the wall is snapped before the gate, it should allow you to place the gate below with no issues. And I'm going to do the same thing for this side over here. I'm going to pack up the gate, and I'm going to place the wall on top first. And then I'll place the gatehouse gate below. Okay, so now I have sealed off this area with walls, and it will be very easy to get a vehicle in and out of here. The next step is to place the columns and the roofs. I'm going to start right here on this foundation. I'm going to place a 3M column directly in the center, and I'm going to place another one on top. I'm going to place another 3M column in the corner of this foundation close to the walls, but this time I'm going to swap to freeform mode and turn it slightly, just like this. Now that that's placed, I'm going to place a 3M torch column right here in snap mode, and this is what it will look like. I'm going to do the same thing in this side over here. I'm going to start with a 3M column, I'm going to place it in the center, and then I'm going to snap another column on top of it. Then I'll place this column in the corner like this, out of the way for a vehicle, and then I'll place just a regular column over here. Alright, now let's go up to the top and place the roofs. The reason why I'm going on top of the base is because roofs can be difficult to place if you're not elevated enough to the top of the columns. I hope one day it will be easy to snap from below, but until that's fixed, you will probably have to be elevated just like I am here. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get the roof to snap to the center of the column. If you're having trouble with this, just keep moving around and eventually it will snap to the center. But it may take just a little bit of practice. Okay, so now that those roofs are placed, let's go see if it's going to work. There is a possibility that the roofs fall down whenever you pack up the center columns. If this happens, you will need to adjust the columns in the corner a little bit until the roof doesn't fall down. It can be aggravating, but once you learn this method, it will be really worth it. Alright, let's test it out. So I'm going to pack up this column, and you see that the roof sticks. It's held up by the columns in the corner. So I'm going to pack this one up, and this one sticks as well. So that's good. Alright, now it's time to start on this side over here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to place a column right here in the center. I'm going to place another one on top. And then I'm going to come over here to this corner, and I'm going to place one diagonally right here, and then I'm going to place a 3M torch column right here. And the reason why I use a 3M torch column is because of the way it snaps to a regular column. It makes a gap where a camping lantern can be placed, which can be used as a garage light that doesn't require any matches or a lighter to light. I'm short a column, but by now you should get the idea of what I'm doing. Now that I have the center columns placed, I'm going to run to the top and place the roofs to the center columns and see if the roofs will stay in place. When you're placing the roof onto the column, make sure you are in snapping mode and not freeform mode. If you're in freeform mode, you might have issues getting this roof to place in the right spot, and it can be very frustrating. Okay, so now this is completely roofed off, and if somebody throws a grenade up here, it will not do damage to any vehicles below. Now that the roofs are placed, let's see if it will stick when I pack up the center columns. So I'm going to pack it up, and the roof is staying in the same spot. That is good. Alright, let's try this one. So I'm going to pack this one up. Notice how the roof dropped down a little bit. That's not a bad thing, it's really a good thing, because if somebody tried to look through the cracks, it's going to make it even harder for them to see inside. So this is what it looks like, and I can pull a car in here, and I can also fit a SWAT truck in here if I find one. So let's go back up to the top here, and I'm going to upgrade these roofs, and it's going to cost a total of 16 sheet metal every time I upgrade one of these, and it's going to eliminate the cracks. It's going to make it where nobody can see through if they're on top. I highly recommend upgrading the roofs as soon as you can, because it will only make the garage stronger. Okay, so now that this is upgraded, let's go upgrade these columns just in case somebody happens to get inside. So it costs a total of 3 sheet metal per column. So if you have 2 columns like this, it's going to cost a total of 6 sheet metal to upgrade both of them. Once you have tried this out for yourself and you make it work, you can then try to place 2 columns between 2 foundations like this, and this will save you an extra 4 base parts. But I will warn you, when I was trying this, it didn't always work out. You can see here on the screen that I have already placed a set of 2 columns between 2 foundations, and now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. If you try to place a column in snapping mode, it will snap in between 2 foundations. Now that that's placed, I'm going to place a 3M torch column right here. I'm going to rotate it around like that, and I'm going to pack up these other columns, and I'm going to see if it's going to work. Alright, so I'm going to pack up this column, and the roof is in the same place. That's what I want. Okay, so now I gotta see if this side over here is gonna work. So I'm gonna pack up this camping lantern, and I'm actually gonna place this camping lantern right here on the gap that has been created. And you gotta do it in freeform mode, and that's gonna make a very nice garage light. Alright, so here's the moment of truth. I'm gonna pack up this torch, and the roof has not fallen and killed me. So that's good. Now this is a really nice garage. It has a very nice roof and it's only supported by 4 columns. And once again, this garage is protected against grenades and other small explosives. However, if somebody raids your base with C4, it will probably blow up the vehicles. There's not much protection against C4. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps you in your Miscreated journey.